We're going to learn how to make a coil pot. There are many different ways to make a coil pot. There are different types of coils. There are ways to stack coils on top of coils. I have a bowl that I have covered with saran wrap. I could use either the inside of the bowl or the outside of the bowl, which I'll show you later. I've used the clay extruder to make my coil, which makes them solid, and it's much easier if you use the extruder than rolling them out. I'm cutting it at a 45-degree angle just like we did when we made our mugs. Now I'm going to take it and score both ends. Remember, scoring and slipping is very important to every process of clay. So I'm scoring the ends, the 45-degree angles that I have cut. And because my clay is so soft, I can take a mister, water mister, and just spray the ends to help connect them. Once I put the ends together, I'm going to go through the process of smoothing out the seam. If for some reason one part seems thinner than the other, just add some extra clay. So it's kind of like creating a rope. You're creating a continuous rope. You'll notice that I don't have a base yet. And the reason that is because I can pull this form out of the bowl at any time, and I can make it get smaller or I can make it get larger. So I'm massaging the clay and making sure that this seam is solid. Now, what happens if I have a coil and it's not long enough? Well, very easily I can splice pieces together. So don't worry if your coil doesn't reach all the way around. So I'm going to score the coil. So I'm scratching marks into the coil because I'm preparing it for the coil that is going to be scored and slipped on top. So here's a perfect example. I'm putting the coil on top and I'm putting it vertically on top of it. And you can see that it's short. So what do? Well, I'm going to bevel the edges, again, that 45-degree angle on both sides. And then I'm going to insert a piece and connect them. One of the things you need to be aware of is when you're connecting these coils, you don't want to connect them in the same location on each row. And the reason being is because you might get a little thinning where the seams are. So again, I'm scoring the end of both areas. I'm going to use the mister. Because my clay is soft, I don't need the slip. And then when I put it in through the section, I am going to connect them and smooth out the seam. Now, you have to make a lot of decisions on your coil piece. Do you want your inside to be completely smooth? Or do you want to leave the rope look as part of your design? You have to make a solid connection. So you can see here, I am taking a wooden tool and a clay brush with water, and I'm making sure that where these two coils connect, that they are solid. Because the thing is just like some of you experienced on your sculpture, if you do not connect those seams well, then they will fall apart. The same thing will happen with your coil pot. If you don't connect where each of the coils touch the next one, then they will break apart. Water is going to be used a lot, especially with the clay being soft. But don't overuse the water because, again, some of you have made it soggy and that makes the clay melt. This example shows you using some of the different coil techniques. This shows you using it on the outside of the bowl. This shows you on the outside of the bowl, and then you smooth it all and the designs on the inside. And of course, you know how to sculpt now, so you can add a face.